Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Cape Rugby TV. Every Wednesday night we take a look at what's happening in the world of club rugby and of course the extensions of club rugby. Nice show for you this evening, conversational show. Big thanks of course before we get started to our partners, of course Score Energy Drinks. As of you know, of course Score is on board with Western Province Rugby and the Western Province Club Rugby Sevens. You can win yourself a case of Score during the show, so make sure that you stay tuned. And of course MChem 24-hour pharmacy on the corner of N1 and Durban Road. Folks, we've got a show with you tonight. On the line with us is Joey Klaaste-Salmans, is the chairperson of Western Province Rugby Referees Society. We're going to cross to Joey in a second. We again go down to catch up with the Western Province Rugby under-20 players. They're busy training at Brookside at the moment, while the Springboks are, of course, busy training at the High Performance Centre. And we'll speak to Stephen Feldman. He's the assistant coach at Belleville Rugby Football Club. And we catch up with David Akok, the head coach at Young Gardens. They've got some fantastic initiatives on their side as they continue to reach out to their players. And we'll also catch up with Eitner Trutter. He is the chairperson of Goodwood Rugby Football Club. And we'll find out what Goodwood is up to behind the scenes. We know that the clubs are still reaching out to their players, reaching out to their communities, and doing their best to stay connected and stay active. But on the line with me now, Joey Klaaste-Salmans. Joey is the chairperson of Western Province Rugby Referees Society. Joey, fantastic to have you back, Meneer. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you, JP. It's always a pleasure to be with you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Joey, it's been, I'm not sure now, maybe we spoke probably a few months ago in terms of refereeing, and we were talking about some of the outreach projects that you guys had. You had some fantastic initiatives, of course, at City Park, and some of your referee structures also raising funds for good causes. But 18 months now I suppose you guys had a bit of a bite a few weeks ago when you saw some rugby action.
Yeah, it was like a taster. It was like really just it was saying to the referees, here's a little bit of what you missed, and then it was just taken away from us again. I know the guys were extremely excited. We started the season off with a little bit slightly different with obviously with COVID protocol and stuff, but we wanted to keep the normal stuff happening, fitness tests and let the guys write exams. And I wasn't too focused on fitness. I knew the guys would be a little bit unfit because they wouldn't have had the opportunity. But it was just for them to gauge to where they are at. So we then started off normally. Guys got some friendly matches under the belt. Guys were really excited. I mean, I got some guys who said to me, this was great to be back on the rugby field. Never thought referees would miss being sworn at so much. Can you believe it? And then it just got pulled off. Yeah, and we have to adapt, JP. And I think I said this to you last time as well. This COVID-19 has actually just indicated to us that we have to start doing things slightly different. We're always going to need a referee on a rugby field. You're always going to need that. But how are we going to be developing them? How are we going to be training them? Those kind of things will have to change. And hence, 2020, I was very, very active on social media, and I was really going both about online stuff with the public, with referees. That's kind of just died down slightly, but I'm looking forward to a resurgence where we're going to just focus on the referees for the next couple of months and just touch base. Where are they at? What are they? Give them some tests, online testing, some videos, just to see if the brains are still in there, kicking alive and well.
So I just want to go back a few weeks here, because as you mentioned it about the referees getting excited to be on the field, we of course were asking the clubs over the last few weeks the same question. How did it feel to play that friendly? Because at the time, a few weeks ago, clubs went through those phases of returning to play for 4 weeks and another 4 weeks before they were able to arrange a friendly fixture. And when the clubs then arranged their friendly fixtures, we saw that most of the clubs were arranging fixtures that were very close to each other in the same area, so that they didn't have to drive. And as a result, we saw that most of the games were in fact derby matches. And that brought me to the thinking, well, hang on, for a referee, a derby match is a next level type of game.
Correct. And you know how much I love my derby matches. And you know what actually then happened was we decided from management side is to keep referees in the areas where they were staying. Because so you might find that there was a derby match that a referee may have played in many years ago, and now he was suddenly refereeing that match because he was the closest official to that match on the particular day.
Yeah.
And we just had to do things differently, think a little bit out of the box, and I'm hoping that as a rugby public and as administrators, we will continue in this vein, start thinking differently about how we're putting matches on,
Yeah.
and try and move away from, yeah, JP played for Joey's team, so JP can't referee this game.
Well,
It's we're gonna have to move away from that.
the
For
team
the
doesn't have a referee on the day, they can phone someone who's in the neighborhood and say, listen,
this
we're short.
well, the standby referee of the club, the two clubs must decide who's, and normally I think it's the home team who will then officiate that
Okay.
game. I have gone to see matches, JP, where home team officials are refereeing. I've watched their team games. The guy comes off the field, he says, surely you fit enough to still ref. And I said, yes, I am. And he says, well, why don't you ref this game? Because I'm tired now. And I've seen games blown off after 15 minutes because the guy just said, I can't deal with this. This is too much for me.
I see you wearing your Protea Hotels top there. We've seen so many awards happening there at the Protea Hotels, and the referees get together once or twice a year. And
Yeah.
and so like we're talking about rugby players, when they're on the field, they'll talk about the hits and the memories and things like that. What do the referees talk about in terms of the social fun element? Are you talking about who blew the whistle the loudest, or
Well, we kind of try to remember things like, if you had your first little stuff up, what did you do? Sometimes a guy he blows for a knock on and he gives the ball to the team that knocked the ball on. And you kind of remember those kind of things and you go like, we're never going to make you forget that one. Or, when a player sidestepped and the referee sidestepped as well, and they both read each other wrong, so they went smack bang into each other. Or you get. I remember once I was officiating with JC Fortain, who's now my vice chairman, and JC was the referee, and I was the assistant. And we were at UCT, and it was, when it rains at UCT, it storms, and there was a massive patch of water, and the guy kicked the ball out on the patch of water, and I was obviously trying as far as possible to stand away from the water to put my flag up, and JC called me in. He said, "Please, can you come stand on the touchline?" Which was then knee deep into the water. And as I stood there, he walked away laughing, and the players were having fun as well because they were like, "Oh, okay, so you're gonna do what the ref wants you to do." So yeah, so we kind of have a lot of fun, and we try to remember that because you know what, that's what makes it fun for us as well, and that's what makes you get up the next morning to say, "I want to go there." But we also acknowledge if there was great rugby being played or great hits, you go look for that player and after the game and say, "Geez, but that wasn't a massive hit." Or if you made a mistake, you go and try and explain to him, listen, maybe change this for the next game you do. So we kind of try and do a bit of coaching as well, just to get the players better as well.
I think that's fantastic, and I think all of this is happening, all these smiles, all these interaction is happening because the game of rugby actually exists.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
and that's fantastic, and I think that's one of the things that we recognize is that rugby really does play such a significant impact on the role of society, or sport plays
Yeah.
this role. But without us getting into the psychology of sport right now, Joey, if somebody wants to join, because clearly if we just look at the last 11 minutes of this interview, it's great fun, it's an opportunity to be engaged, it's a way to stay involved in the game, it's a way to give back to your own structures. So clearly there's a really valuable proposition here to become a referee. If people want to become a referee, how do they join?
Well, quite easy. They just get hold of the union offices. Fatima said is our lady there. She gets all the information in for us, and from the moment that there's been communication with Fatima, she keeps them on the list, and then it's up to Mornay Carvel, who's in charge of training and education, to set us up with training opportunities, and then the guys get into going to World Rugby Level 1 courses, and then from there they go to their regions, and we've got 8 regions in the province, and then they get coached by the regional coaches. So it's not difficult, it's easy. I have seen over the last, I mean, I can tell you over the last 18 months, the the interest in refereeing has actually, it's been surprisingly, I thought it would die down, but it hasn't. There's been a lot of applications, a lot of people saying we want to become referees. When's your next course? When can we come? So I'm quietly optimistic that we will grow as soon as COVID has decided it has now had enough of South Africa and it's leaving. Then we will definitely pick up. But I want to encourage anybody who's out there. It doesn't matter what age you are, even if you're at school, we still have a school program as well. So please, if you want to do this, just get hold of the union, get hold of Fatima said. She will make sure that we get the information and we'll make you great. We might not make you international referee, but you'll be great.
It's fantastic, Joey. Great stuff. Fantastic to have this chat. Love the big smile. Love the positive spirit.
Thanks, man.
And it's very exciting. We look forward to catching up with you again. And we say stay safe out there.
Yeah, thanks, JP, and thanks to you and for everything that you do for club rugby and refereeing. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. Thanks, brother.
Here we go, folks. Joey Klaaste-Salmans, of course, chairperson of the Western Province Rugby Referees Society, and he heard what you heard what he said, and I'm emphasizing it. Become a referee, and I think the easy way to do is just go to your club and speak to your secretary at the club or the chairperson of the club, and they'll put you directly in touch with the union. Folks, we'll take an ad break, and we'll come back with more fun and entertainment in the world of club rugby. Back in a sec.